Barbie director Greta Gerwig is talking about her upcoming adaptation of C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. And she's saying she's terrified of adapting the books because she reveres them so much. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Let's get into this here. Headline over at thatparkplace.com, your number one place for pop culture news. Why do you not have it bookmarked yet already? It reads, Barbie director Greta Gerwig on adapting C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. I'm slightly in a place of terror because I really do have such reverence for Narnia. That is what she had to say during an appearance on BBC Radio 4's Today, as reported by Yahoo News. She said, I'm slightly in a place of terror because I really do have such reverence for Narnia. I loved Narnia so much as a child. As an adult, I love C.S. Lewis as a thinker and a writer. I'm intimidated by doing this. It's something that feels a worthy thing to be intimidated by. She also shared, I also have to say, as a non British person, I feel a particular sense of wanting to do it correctly. It's like when Americans do Shakespeare, there's a slight feeling of reverence as if maybe we should treat it with extra care. He's not our countryman. So I do think a lot of what she's saying here is laudable. It's something that you want these people to say. Um, I, I don't know if I would quite say that you should be in terror because if you have reverence for Narnia, I think you'd be wanting to be excited. You wanted to actually do a good adaptation. You want to respect that source material. So I do like that she is saying those things. However, I'm not sure if I actually believe her. I don't know if she's actually telling the truth here. And I say that because I think her body of work stands for itself. She is someone who promotes feminism in all of her films. And most recently in the Barbie film, she did an interview down here with ABC News over in Australia, where she said that, well, it most certainly is a feminist film. And then she's done a bunch of her other films are obviously feminist films as well, pushing that feminist ideology. And that feminist ideology is not compatible with Christianity, which is what C.S. Lewis, which is very important to the Chronicles of Narnia books. Just to kind of explain to you how feminism is not compatible with Christianity, you have Dr. Carrie Gress, who wrote an article in the Catholic Register. She said feminism's core beliefs were first articulated by English poet Percy Bysshe Shelley. While his wife Mary Shelley was writing Frankenstein, Percy Shelley was conjuring up his own creature, the first woman, whom he called Sithna, to be detached from husband or children entirely. Sithna's only relationship, not accidentally, was with the devil. Shelley himself practiced the dark arts, going so far as to spend a night in a tomb to make contact with the devil. He also offered a new version of the Book of Genesis and the Fall of Man. In Shelley's reimagined reading of it, based on Milton's Paradise Lost, Eve is no longer the means of the fall, but through the serpent is given an opportunity for a special kind of knowledge. Obviously, dealing with the occult, being anti-family, are clearly anti-Christian in nature, and that is the founding of feminist ideology, or at least modern feminist ideology as we know it. Clearly not compatible with Christianity. You also have Dale O'Leary writing at EWTN. He says, the feminist analysis is nonsense. Women aren't going to be better off when there are no families. There is no evidence that any of this will work. From the beginning, the goals of feminism were clear: destruction of patriarchy, control of reproduction, including contraception, abortion, and reproductive technologies, destruction of the father-headed family with divorce and illegitimacy made normal, all women in the workforce, no man able to support his family, and free 24-hour daycare, destruction of all male institutions, total sexual liberation, including sex for children, homosexuality and bisexuality, destruction of worship of God as Father. So clearly not Christian whatsoever. Dale O'Leary making that abundantly clear. And the Chronicles of Narnia are indeed Christian. They are at the heart of those novels that C.S. Lewis wrote. He explained this in On Stories and Other Essays on Literature. He said, why did one find it so hard to feel as one was told one ought to feel about God or about the sufferings of Christ? I thought the chief reason was that one was told one ought to. An obligation to feel can freeze feelings, and reverence itself did harm. The whole subject was associated with lowered voices, almost as if it were something medical. But supposing that by causing all these things into an imaginary world, by casting all these things into an imaginary world, stripping them of their stained glass and Sunday school associations, one could make them for the first time appear in their real potency. Could one not thus steal past those watchful dragons? I thought one could. So I think he's making it abundantly clear that he was using the Chronicles of Narnia to evangelize to children, um, evangelize Christianity, the truth, to children. And clearly, that is something that is, I think, integral to the Chronicles of Narnia. And Greta Gerwig has made it abundantly clear that she's all about promoting feminism in her movies. She said that the Barbie film is indeed feminist, and the two are not compatible. So I don't think that she is the appropriate person to be adapting the Chronicles of Narnia. I can only think that she'll be inverting a lot of what C.S. Lewis wrote. She'll be trying to change the Christian perspective. I can probably see the evil witch being somehow the actual true person, as we saw here, as Carrie Gress was talking about, where Eve is no longer the means of the fall, but through the serpent is given an opportunity for a special kind of knowledge. I can definitely see that being applied to the evil witch in the Chronicles of Narnia. But that is what Greta Gerwig had to say. I think what she's saying on the surface looks all good and dandy, but I think it's a lot of PR talking points in order to try and butter people up into the idea that she is the right person to be directing these at least this film adaptation for Netflix. But I think her body of work stands for itself. Her actions speak louder than her words. And I do not think she is the appropriate person to be directing these Narnia films. In my opinion, I think she should drop out of it altogether, because she should recognize that she is not the right person to be doing this. But those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to be charitable, but to always speak the truth.